Hi, everyone. I'm really nervous, I'm not really familiar with speeches and all, but yeah, I'm all here for you guys. Wishing you all a very good morning. Uh, Talking about global indigenous cinema, I'm going to talk about very personal experiences which I have had uh, since my childhood. Uh, I grown up in a very privileged family uh, where my father was the biggest casteist inside the house, and how global indigenous cinema came to my life. It is very much related to my father and the surroundings I have had seen when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, I made my very first friend. Her name was Jhuma Nath. About Jhuma, I kind of talked inside the film Songs of Forgotten Trees. So when I made my very first friend, I came and told this to my father. I was in class 5th. So I told my father that, I made a friend and her name is Jhuma Nath. My father asked the surname again. I told him the surname, and he immediately told me that you're not gonna meet this girl ever again. Back then I was a kid, so I didn't understand the social dimension and the situation of how casteism was or what was the situation. I didn't know anything. So I ended up not talking with this girl, and then slowly, every day that girl used to ask me why you are not talking to me, what is it, what's wrong with you? So I gave her excuses that, you look elder to me, I don't want to get bullied and all. So our friendship kind of ended there, and it was always one-sided from her end because she always wanted to talk to me, and the impression of my father was too much on my head that I couldn't got out of it. So one day she came to me and she told me this, that, you are right, I think I am growing elder, and you were right. My father is sending me to a different village. They have setting my marriage. That really broke my heart. She was just 12-year old. And till then it was very much personal to me, losing her as a friend. Her getting married was very personal grief to me, until I was 22 and I came to know that the marriage was set by the government. It was not his father's choice. It was not her own choice. It was basically an initiative taken by the local government for the Dalit childs, for the Dalit woman to get married, and they will provide the money. So you remember that one thing just turned my life upside down, and I sort of kind of couldn't resist myself not to talk about it, but to talk about it. So for me, global indigenous cinema has to be always about the people who are unheard, who are not really basically showcased inside the mainstream cinema. Okay, sorry, yeah. So yeah, it has to be like your camera has to be turned towards them who are basically oppressed, suppressed. It is again a personal choice of the directors what they want to showcase, but I'm just sharing my experience that how I kind of driven towards third world cinema. For the very first time, I felt there are no difference between my father and the government. I felt they both were similar because they did casteism with the friend of mine who was just 12-year-old. So that kind of shaped the narrative which I wanted to showcase in the beginning. Of course, in the beginning, I also wanted to make a film which is very much mainstream. Unless I met two of my mentors, Neeraj Sahai and Anirban Maiti and Paresh Kamdar. Paresh Kamdar is a HOD in Whistling Wood, Bombay. And they taught me about how it is important to talk about the society and the real societal aspect inside a film. And art cannot be only entertainment centric. I mean, that's what they used to believe, and they made me believe the same. Uh, that's why the film is talking about two women and how they, fall for each other. It is talking about their sexuality. It is talking about their desire. It is also talking about their birth and origins. They are bringing two different languages inside the film. One is from Assam and the other from North India, and how they two basically mingles. That is that. In the current film of mine, Lovers in the Blue Night, it is talking about 4 different migrants and how they basically driven by their choices, their desire. I tried not to emphasize their poverty at all, because I I want my camera and the narrative to treat them equally as possible. So I'm going to share a very horrible experience of mine. So while I was directing my first film, Run to the River, as I told you that I portrayed the whole film about a Dalit girl child, that she wants to see the river, and she was not allowed to see the river because they were not allowed to cross the boundary and go and watch something which is, but basically they were not allowed to go to the nature. That was the situation back then. The rules were from the upper caste landlords back then in 1930. That was the story. So it's a very funny story. While I was, basically I went back to my hometown to shoot this. I kind of convinced my father that even if you let me shoot this film, I'm going to get married for sure. My father convinced, and me and just, 10 of my friends, we all went inside the village. It was a tribal village, so we kind of had that kind of power that, we're going to talk about the tribal people, we have to talk about them, we cannot, let them be suppressed always. So these were the kind of, the energy was this. So we all entered into the village, and we found a house. It was a tribal house, and we kind of set our whole story inside that house. That house was having a very big orange tree in the middle of the courtyard, a very big orange tree, which had a lot of oranges. It was, I think, December we shot the film, November end, and it had a lot of oranges. And I kind of discussed this with my teammates, that how are we going to showcase the poverty? The courtyard carries a big orange tree. It shall not be there. So we kind of ended up chopping the oranges. And that still haunts me. So that also reminds me that how poor I was from my mind, that I couldn't even imagine that a poor family can have an orange tree. And I was about to talk about third world cinema and whatnot. That kind of really upset me till now, that we kind of chopped their oranges, we kind of made the whole set ready to showcase poverty, to emphasize poverty. So that one challenge, that one lesson actually taught me a lot, that as directors, we always, even if we decide to talk about poverty and third world, we always emphasized it. In Satyajit Ray's film, you will find a poor Brahmin, and because he chose to emphasize it. So that's how I chose to emphasize poverty, which will not even can have an orange tree. So now that I have also grown up, I'm trying to bring the empathy towards, it's not easy, it's not that easy, because you come from a background which has everything when you were a kid. And now you want to talk about something which is very much required, but you still don't know the language of empathy. You are trying to become somebody. So for me, it's a big struggle. So just, I will just tell you guys, just focus on the social realism, and try to question yourself before you want to make a film. Just question yourself, what do you want to showcase? What are the stereotypes, predictability inside the story? and how you can bring the change. Though a film cannot change the society, but at least a film can bring something which is very much not stereotype. So for me, that is the only challenge, and I'm not a established filmmaker yet. I am trying to make something which is breaking the monotonies. I don't know how far I'm gonna go. But yeah, that's all I have to share with you guys. I mean, filmmaking is all about how personal is political and how societal hierarchies can be showcased with each frame you decide to go with. So for me, that's it. Thank you for having me. I am not a good speaker at all. All I just shared is my own experience with you guys. Do not think about the market strategy. Do not think about the digital distribution and all of these big terminologies, because for me, making a film is much more important than anything else. Because remember, those who are giving you these advices that, think about the market, think about the distribution, they also took the very first step, which was making the film. So for me, just make a film, talk about something which is very much personal, because that's where you can establish yourself as original as possible. So thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.